on, guys? Welcome to another video with your host, as always, KMac Time. Now, I consider myself to be a pretty big gamer, and on top of that, my console of choice is the Xbox One. I do have a PS4, you see some of the games behind me. I do like my PS4. I do have a Switch, I like that as well. I don't currently do any PC gaming. I'm a console guy, and my console of choice is Xbox and the Xbox One family. That being said, recently in the news, obviously we've seen the Xbox One X, come out. It's been talked about. The specs are out. All the stuff's out. Price point. And I wanted to kind of just talk a little bit with you guys as someone who plays a lot of Xbox and a lot of PS4 and a lot of other console games. Do I think it's worth it? Is it worth it to upgrade to this console? Is it something that you guys should be purchasing? I mean, there's a lot of things to go into it, and I want to jump right into that now. Now, let's start out with some of the pros. Now, the pros obviously are that it has a much faster GPU. I think they said something like a 6 teraflop GPU, I believe is what they said. Now, that might be kind of just whatever over-your-head jargon talk that, you don't really understand. But what that means is that it does things a lot faster, it load times faster, and it's capable of a lot more than the Xbox One or the Xbox One S. I currently own, right now, 2 Xbox Ones. I had 3. The first one I had broke. I still have it somewhere. But I currently have 3. I have the launch model. I have the a second Xbox One, a later same original big one. And then I also have my new Xbox One S, which I play currently. And I like them. I like them a lot. But anyway, the Xbox One X with this GPU power is supposedly going to have a lot faster load times. It has a bigger memory bus, things like that. All these words they kind of throw at you. All you have to know is it's faster and it's better. How much? We don't really know at this time. I haven't had any time to obviously get hands-on with this thing, do a side-by-side load times of like a Skyrim or something like that. But maybe when people get more time with the actual machine itself, we can see those kind of videos. Now, the biggest selling point, obviously, is the 4K 60 frames per second HDR textures and all the HDR backgrounds, high dynamic range, what that stands for. Pretty important if you're into looking the absolute best something can look. The Ultra HD, they call it, the 4K. It's like 8 million pixels, I think. And while some things do run on 4K on the original Xbox One, there's not a whole lot of it, and it's an upscaled 4K, so it's not true 4K is what they call it. This will be able to run that natively, apparently, and that is awesome. That's really cool. That's something you usually typically only see in PC gaming, running on ultra settings with very expensive chipsets or something like that, which is also an option out there people like to do with PC gaming. But this is for your console guy like me. This is your chance to get something that is true 4K, and 60 frames per second with HDR textures on it. So that's something that is notable. It's worthy of that, but we'll get into more about that in a second. Also, important things to point out here is it is a little bit smaller. It's the smallest Xbox to date. It's somehow even smaller than the Xbox One S, but weighs 2 more pounds. So how they did that, who knows? Good on them for having a good ingenuity and design. The thing looks good, and I'm sure it's designed perfectly. I'm sure it's awesome. Anyway, they talked about it being not only air cooled, but it being the first Xbox to have an actual liquid cooling in it. So it'll have some kind of vapor chamber or something like that's inside it that's liquid into it to make sure it stays cool, doesn't overheat. So it looks like they are going the extra mile to avoid the whole red ring of death thing from previous consoles, which I haven't had any problem with on the Xbox One anyway. But with this one having a more powerful chipset, it might have been a problem. So they went the extra mile to ensure that they would have no heating problems. And I applaud them on that. That's very well done. Also, of course, it has a 4K Blu-Ray player, so that's pretty bitchin'. 4K Blu-ray players are pretty expensive if you're not getting it into a gaming console. I mean, not crazy expensive, but so that's something worth pointing out. And even the PS4 Pro doesn't have that. I thought that was weird. The PS4 Pro doesn't have an has an HD, but it doesn't have 4K Blu-ray in it, as far as I can remember. But I don't know, weird. Anyway, so that's basically the pros. It's got 4K, it's got HDR, it's got 60 frames per second. It goes a little bit faster, and it's just a little bit better. That's the pros. Now the cons. Obviously, the biggest glaring one is the price point, $500. Now that is a lot of money for any bit of tech, but when you're comparing it to a similar build PC, it's in the same range. Yes, you can spend a little bit more on a PC build and get more out of it in terms of, you know, of being able to upgrade it later and when new cards come out and stuff like that. But it's an okay. I don't think it's an outrageous price point. I just think it's pretty high. But originally, when the original Xbox One came out, that was $500. I bought my Day One edition for $500, and I was a Day One adopter of that. So $500 isn't a crazy amount. That's exactly where I thought it would be. But the biggest problem I have with this is the Xbox One S is getting a price drop from $300 to $250. And that's bundled with the game. Mine came bundled with Battlefield 1. They have a Madden bundle, they have a Halo 5 bundle. I'm sure they're going to do more bundles down the road. So what you're getting for $250 is an Xbox One S and a game. Or for $250 more, you can get an Xbox One X, and it just has slightly better, faster load times, and it looks a little bit better. And that's if you have a 4K TV, which we'll get into in just a second. But that, I think, is gonna be the biggest divide here. Is it, if you're looking for someone who's looking to get into this current generation of systems, is it worth paying basically double? It's double the price to get this Xbox One S, or X, excuse me, is double the price that it is to get an S, and is it worth it? That's a personal choice. To me, personally, it is not. I am a huge Xbox guy. I'm a Xbox fanboy. I play most of my games on Xbox, and I spend most of my time on my Xbox, but I am not going to buy this. This is not for me. I already own 3 Xbox Ones and an Xbox One S. I don't need to spend another $500 to get a little bit of a graphical and speed boost here, especially because I don't have a 4K TV, which is another thing I want to talk about. These only look better on a 4K TV. Now, they did say that they're using what's called super sampling, and the games will look better on 1080p TVs, but how much better and how much faster those sample rates are, we don't know. Like, there's no way to tell until you get your hands on the thing. And will it be enough? Will it honestly be enough to justify $250 more? Double the price of a 1 terabyte Xbox One S. Double the price. If you don't have a 4K TV, and they're banking on this super sampling, they're calling it, being that much better, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Is it better? Probably. Is it that much better? I don't see it being night and day. I don't see it being worth $250. I'm not going to buy one of these, at least not right away. I won't be an early adopter of this. Maybe when there's a price drop down to maybe $399 or $350, maybe a year or two down the road, maybe then I will jump in. But for $500, there's absolutely no reason for me personally to jump in on this. I already have, like I said, all the Xboxes I could ever play, and I don't have a 4K TV anyway. I have a 1080p LCD TV, not 4K. But if you have 4K TV, and if you want the best experience, if you have the money to spend, this is the console to get. But that's not me, and I think that Microsoft went into this knowing that this was going to be a very, for the time being, at least a kind of niche console for them that only the high-end people would want. It's not for everyone. It's not a cheap system you can throw on or buy for the grandkids. This is not something you just pick up. This is something you have to put a lot of thought into, and then you have to have the right setup for. But if you do, you get the best experience, and that's great. If not, then the Xbox One S is a great option for you. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on this. I'm not going to be buying this, at least not right away. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you have a 4K TV? And if you do, are you planning on picking up an Xbox One S? It's clearly a little bit better than the PS4 Pro at this point. Obviously not even a little bit, a lot better than the PS4 Pro. If you have that, PS4 Pro, or you plan on picking one of these up, I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about this down in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this in your sub box, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate when you guys hit that like button. If we get 500 likes in this video, we greatly appreciate it. Thumbs up. But until next time, guys, remember that's always K-Mac time somewhere. Until then, take it easy and peace out.